Hello, everybody. This is going to be a new idea, semi-new idea. I don't know. We kind of touched about it on certain times. I don't know if I did. Can't remember. Anyway, this is going to be something new that we're going to be doing. It's kind of like a weekly update on what kind of happened in like this past week in terms of like gaming news, and just trying to give our thoughts on some of the events that have happened. Who's joining me?
Mike.
Travis.
And I'm Nick. Sorry, I didn't even get to say my name because I'm dumb. But yes, it is going to be kind of like a weekly update. It's probably not going to be every week as much as it'd be kind of fun to do it that way. But yes, it is going to be sometimes that we want to at least just talk about certain things that are happening and just kind of give our perspective on them and where we think they can go. Because, I mean, can't just do it all on Twitter or anything that's boring. Anyway, so one of the first things I'm going to talk about that just happened this past week is we finally got to see a more of an extended look into Death Stranding. For those of you unaware, Death Stranding, one of the reasons why this game has so much of excitement about it, so much hype built around it as well, is because it's from Hideo Kojima. This was the guy who was basically the mind behind Metal Gear, and not Metal Gear Survive. Metal Gear Survive was strictly on Konami, and you saw how when Kojima wasn't a part of the game, how much it suffered. So he has a new project, and he talked about how he really wanted to push like the limitation of the games. He didn't want to. He talked about how he didn't just want to make a battle royale game. He wanted to make a game that pushes the genre of video games. And we saw gameplay of what Death Stranding is. The summary that I've heard that is a pretty good way to explain the story of Death Stranding is, I believe you're tracking down, or you're following a route that the daughter of the President of the United States took. And just by seeing this gameplay, it's definitely not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Is there any, because I saw, like, you could, like, urinate and, like, mushrooms pop up and, like, okay, that's kind of interesting, I guess. But it doesn't seem like a lot of modern people will really like the gameplay. And that's one of the things that I'm a little worried about. While Kojima has a fantastic track record, I'm not sure if this game is going to be as well received just on the gameplay and solely. But that's one of the things I want to talk to you guys about. In terms of the Death Stranding game, is there anything that kind of like stuck out to you in terms of maybe it's fantastic or maybe this judgment is misguided, or just seeing the gameplay? What's your guys' first impressions?
It is kind of dumb. I don't know. I feel like it's trying to be way too much. I don't know.
Too meta?
Yeah, that's really the vibe I get. Like, Kojima's just trying to be so off the wall that it feels like it's so off the wall that now it's just, at this point, it's just like, okay, really? You're being a bit excessive now. Because, like, even before, and this is before the recent trailer came out, they were talking about it, and they're like, oh, so what kind of gameplay is this? And they said, so what kind of game is this? He's like, oh, it's a strand game where you're, building strands and connections. And everyone's like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, that doesn't answer.
What kind of explanation is that?
Yeah, like, it almost feels like he's just doing it to be, like, mysterious now. So I think that's one of the things that has somewhat annoyed me about the game, is it just feels like he's trying to be, like, the whole base of the game is no one knows what it is, and it's a big mystery. When in reality, looking at the gameplay, it doesn't seem like a terrible idea, but it's just like, what is it? It's just like, you walk around, you have a baby. They even describe it, from everything that I've heard, you're trying to restore connections between lost cities and civilizations, but it's like, okay, why? Like, what is the purpose and meaning behind anything? Like, it feels like it's odd for the sake of being odd. I was really on board for it, except it's trailer after trailer that doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's like, for me, it's like not even fun anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, for me, when I saw it, I was like, I feel like this kind of it should have some rooting and some, it's got to have some way to at least a person to sit down and enjoy. If everything's just if everything's on such this crazy high level, and it would take somebody who's played a ton of games just to make sense of it. Like, Metal Gear was mind-blowing, but like, you could still enjoy it if you're just gonna pick up a controller and play. This game, I do hope it does well, and again, I think Kojima is a extremely gifted creator of games. Really, he wants to be in the industry for a long time. I'm with you. I don't get it. And I think there's got to be some way to just explain it to somebody like, hey, this is what Death Stranding is. And then you can go on from there. hopefully it'll ramp up the game in terms of gameplay so people can understand it. But right now, from what you've seen, there's like a guy walking across a barren landscape. He can pull out a ladder out of his ass or something. That's something.
Well, and
yeah.
I think that's what bothered me is, from what I've seen, it doesn't seem that original. Like, there's weird stuff you can do in it, but he could have easily said, oh, it's an open world game where you're exploring, because that's clearly what you're doing. It's like, how come that couldn't have been mentioned at any point? Like, I feel like there's this whole belief that, oh, this is going to be so new, and he's like breaking down what video games are, but it's not. It's an open world exploration game.
Actually,
like,
it's not open world. It's strands and building connections.
Okay, fuck off. You're pissing me off.
The world is disconnected and you gotta rebuild it, Mike. Come on, you just said that.
God, every time I read, like, oh, the game is going with the Strand theme, I just want to, like, shit myself. I'm like, what is that? Okay, cool.
It's like, I just want somebody to be able to explain it on, like, simpler terms. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they don't want to. It's like, it's a disservice to Kojima. It's like, well, people want to get your game, but they got to know what they're buying, man.
I know. Well, and it's like, people are going to buy the game, and what's going to end up happening is people are going to say, it was, it wasn't as weird as I thought. Like, unless people say it's weird because you piss mushrooms. Like... That's pretty weird.
Well, you piss on the grass, and the grass turns into mushrooms,
your
man.
piss grows
Your pee
mushrooms.
has transformative properties. Come on, man.
Whatever. Point is,
Did you even see the trailer?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I was getting mind-fucked while watching it, so... I don't know. And what is the baby? What is the baby for?
They showed so many parts of the baby. I don't even get how that ties
They
in.
show the baby, but it doesn't explain.
I think they put in too much of a mystery, man. You gotta at least have some answers to be like, oh, or like let people speculate. But you're putting so many mysteries out there that people can't even speculate.
Right.
Well, because like the God of War, story of Boy, that worked out so well. So
Dad of Boy, you mean?
Yeah, Dad of Boy.
The game's called Dad of Boy.
Dad of Boy.
Now it's Dad of Fetus, really. It's just...
Oh my god.
Death Stranding is actually just Dad of Fetus. Anyway, so let's move on. I didn't think we'd focus that much on Death Stranding, but yes, I'm with you guys. It seems kind of weird. It is very meta. I'm hoping it does good. Again, it's Kojima. I'm sure it'll still be good. It's whether people will understand its genius. That's what I really think it is. This one is going to be a little shorter, and it's one that I kind of want to mention because it was pretty much an issue, especially if you like going on Reddit, is that the Respawn and Apex Legends Iron Crown event and the issues that had. So Apex Legends is still the open world, not the open world, what am I talking about? The Battle Royale game that it's 3 people teams that launched a while ago that it's free to play. And the issue that they had was that they had loot boxes that, or this event where the ultra rare prize was this axe, I think. I don't even remember what it was. But you had to spend like $150, $170 just to have the opportunity to purchase this like limited rare event for it to happen. And immediately there was a ton of backlash on this, like what the hell was it? And the reason I'm bringing it up because like, all right, people are getting mad about free-to-play games trying to charge ridiculous amounts of money. That's not new. The developers got in and started throwing punches and started calling people tools and jackasses and freeloaders. I was like, this is entertaining, dude. Like, this is pretty funny. Like, Respawn took a terrible approach in trying to respond to the community, and they were pissed. Like, there's people who want to support Apex and think it's a really fun game. They're like, all right, screw this. Not spending another dollar because you guys are just a whole bunch of assholes. And they finally issued, like, a formal apology a couple days ago, but it was ridiculous about how much this got blown out of proportion for this one event that was supposed to be exciting for people to really engage in. And Apex is in, like, what, Season 2? So it's still fairly new in its live service thing. I had live service games I'm not a huge fan of. But I was going to say, do you guys have any takes on the fact that developers were throwing punches back at the public? Like, is that... I don't think that's a good idea. I don't know about you guys.
I don't know. I think people are getting too big for their bridges now. Like, I think... especially with like the way that microtransactions and loot boxes go, like I don't know if companies understand that what they're doing is bad, or if they're just so like twisted in their minds that they don't see the issue with it anymore, that they're just that money greedy now.
Well, it's the way that I see it is it's like the thing with remember when they're I'm not sure if you watched this, but do you remember when like they're interviewing Zuckerberg and they're trying to be like, well, how do you make money on Facebook? It's like, we sell ads. Like, that was them prepared. I think they're just that disconnected, at least some people are, where they don't even know how far technology has even gone. Like, they're just that blindsided to that. And I'm wondering, could it be that or could it be something else?
But even beyond that, like, I wonder if when they do stuff like that, if they're expecting backlash, or if they just assume, like, do they honestly believe that when they set up stuff like this, that everyone is going to be okay with it when it happens? Like, they can't be that
I don't know.
ignorant, can they?
That's my wonder. Is like, I'm wondering if they're seeing how much good karma they're having by saying, oh, we listened to what people say, so we push back on it. So I'm wondering if they're purposely just taking steps over the line, saying, oh, we didn't know it was that bad. Here, let's take it back. But it was already the price that they were trying to get for it. So they're giving like the illusion that they're listening. And I'm thinking that's what this was. But I was going to say, like, okay, they're going to push back a little bit and like, give them a little bit of leeway. And that was their goal all along. But they never really addressed anything. They had these fights back and forth. But the issues with like the terrible pricing on all of it is still there. So it's like they didn't really give any leeway on it. And I'm wondering if they're purposely going over the line and then just pretending to listen because, oh, we can get more people on our side that way. I don't know. I'm getting sick of it if that's what it is because it just turns me off from these games altogether. It's like, okay, I would want to play the game, but I would want to support a game that I'm enjoying, but it's like, what's the point if you're just going to try to do this? I don't know. That one I wanted to have like as a shorter point. If you guys have something to say, we'll move on from it otherwise.
No, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. All right, PS5 dev kits.
I
They're
want
out.
one.
They look cool. They look weird. It's definitely not. I don't think it's how the system is gonna look, but it's gonna tie into what we're gonna be talking about next, which I guess we can lump both these together. Another big thing that happened was Sony buying Insomniac Games. Insomniac Games known for, I believe, Spyro the Dragon was one of them. Ratchet and Clank was for sure the really popular Spider-Man game. Because that Spider-Man game sold, I believe, over 13 million units for a console exclusive, is ridiculous. I think it's one of like the top 3 or something like that selling games on the PS4 ever. And that's just extremely good. And one of the things that I'm definitely asking Travis, because I'm wondering what games he wants to see out of Insomniac, because now Sony, they kind of already worked with Sony with like the Sunset Overdrive being a different, they worked with Microsoft for that, but basically Insomniac has almost done everything for Sony. And I'm wondering, is there a certain game that you want to see now that Insomniac is bought by Sony?
Well, I mean, I was always a big fan of the original Ratchet and Clank games. After a point, I don't even remember which one, they definitely became less good. Oh my god, they also did Spyro.
Pretty sure.
Well, I just googled what all they've done, because I am the worst when it comes to remembering who developed what games.
They've done quite a few Spider-Man games.
They have.
Yeah.
So if they did that N64 one that I played, all for more Spider-Man games, because that was the greatest game experience of my life.
Well, CJ was playing Spider-Man for PS4, the one that came out recently. He was saying how good it was.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's no doubt in my mind that a sequel to that game is in development. Probably gonna be PS5, which ties back into the PS5 dev kits. But I think the one thing that this is all bringing together is that the next consoles are coming up sooner than we expect, because of the fact, like, again, PS5 dev kits are out, and Sony buying Insomniac. Microsoft talked about how they wanted to get more companies bought, so they actually have more exclusives to offer on Xbox. I think it's just coming up faster than we expect, and that's one of the things that I think is very glaring here with Sony buying Insomniac. Yes, it's coming up fast, and we honestly better be ready.
Didn't we already know it was supposed to be next year?
They were thinking it was next year.
Yeah, because
it was never like confirmed by Sony.
Oh, because I'm pretty sure Microsoft said that because they're planning on releasing their new Halo game next year, that it'll be on the new console.
I'm assuming that the next Xbox and the next PlayStation will both happen the same year.
Oh, for sure.
I just don't know. I'm not sure if it's going to be at the same time of that year, though. I'm still guessing that the PS5 is being designed, because if you look at the PS4 dev kit, it looks nothing like the actual PS4.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's going to be very,
I want the
very
PS5
different.
to look like that dev kit, though. That U thing looked amazing.
Yeah, it has like that Roman numeral V for the 5, and I thought that was really cool. If they can incorporate that design somewhere. Yeah. If that's what they're going for, I think that'd be pretty cool to incorporate. But overall, I think this is actually like a pretty smart buy from them, because I mean, I don't know like what could possibly, like, Insomniac has already made great games. I already told Travis I ended up getting Spider-Man for PS4, even though I'm probably not going to play it forever, because I was like, well, I like Insomniac games. I think they're doing a great job. It's on a platform that I enjoy. It's like, why would I not do it? I want to support games that are still going for that kind of stuff. So I think it's just a smart way to do so. And with the dev kits being out and people are showing like, the patent for it, it's like, oh yeah, we have one. It's like, this is coming up faster than I expected. I mean, it's what, August now? It's probably going to happen within the next... I don't know if it's going to be holiday. This is just speculation. I'm not sure if Mike has any speculations, but I would assume like either holiday or like mid-year or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I would guess something like that too. That seems about right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember when the Wii was launched. It was sometime like when it was cold out. I remember that.
Nintendo never does things normally, though.
Yeah.
That's true.
Count.
That's true.
Like,
I remember
the Switch
buying
came
most
out-
consoles around winter time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it was like, if they wanted to make it like a holiday thing, and especially if they are able to, if they have enough time, because I know Spider-Man was pretty recent. If they have enough time to actually make a Spider-Man game as a console release, I think that would be a huge system seller.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I think Spider-Man's like one of the biggest, probably one of the biggest games Insomniac has made now, just because of how well it did.
Yeah. However, they will have to fight against that backlash of Sony taking Spider-Man away from Marvel.
Yeah.
Universe.
Yeah, that's gonna be an
Some
issue.
people are very salty about that.
But if you can play a Spider-Man game, you can get your Spider-Man fix, and that can help sell theirs. Maybe they have this extra plan about, now that we have Spider-Man games, we're just going to do that.
No, I think people will be more pissed off and not buy it than people who will change their mind and not be salty anymore. I think it's dumb.
Though,
but
Travis.
whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
But you know that is how, it will affect sales because people are petty as hell now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, why not? I'm petty as hell when it comes to stuff. Dude, there's so many times where I'm just like, there's a game that I really want out. I can't play it. I'm just gonna wait to see if it goes down. Like, I do it. Like, if it's gonna, like, hey, Nintendo games usually don't go down in price. But I was like, hey, Spider-Man's like $20 now. Yeah, I'll get Spider-Man. Why the hell not? So
Yeah, I can buy it on Amazon for $25 right now.
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
So Mike, you gonna get a PS5 dev kit and make a great game for us?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I'll get back to you on that.
Make Shaq Fu 3.
All right.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, if you don't, I'm gonna be sad. Anyway, that's gonna kind of do it for our kind of weekly update. Again, I'm calling it a weekly update that won't happen weekly. I guess our non-weekly update would be a better way to say it. But this is, again, just a new idea that we want to try to throw out there. I want to do this just to cover other news topics because, again, I think there's a lot of stuff that happens that we definitely have thoughts on, and it's kind of weird when we're putting them in certain videos when we're playing like Sonic. It's like there's no point in talking about, I don't know, a Borderlands thing if it was in a Sonic game. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know. I kind of like doing stuff like this. So hopefully you enjoyed. Please give us a lot of feedback on it. Tell us what you think. Maybe some ideas on how to make it better, whatever it is. But yes, this is a shot in the dark. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know. Talking fast. Hopefully you enjoyed. Bye.
Bye.
Adios.